this is Howard with another classic from CCR. This is Born on the Bayou, of course. And I'm in standard tuning, and I've got my Tele plugged into my Orange Crush 20 RT practice amp. And I'm also using a Kamisi tremolo pedal, okay, to emulate that classic Fender tremolo sound that he's got going on this tune. And I'll put a shot of it up on the screen in case you want to pick one up. This is not a paid endorsement or anything like that. I actually bought the pedal. I really like it. So I'll put a quick shot of it up on the screen so you can see what my settings are in case you want to pick one up. I think most tremolo pedals will be similar, so maybe that will help out a little bit. So here you go. Now I'm on the middle position of my Tele, so I'm employing both pickups at the same time. Both the output and the tone are wide open. And we've got an E7 chord. That's the first thing we've got. So if you know how to play a standard C chord, just bring your third finger all the way up to the 7th fret and then lay your pinky down on the 7th fret on the G string. And that's the chord that we have. So what he does, he starts this out by sliding, then form the chord and start picking away. So you can see up on the tab the picking pattern is. And then sometimes you'll swing up and hit that open E string. And sometimes hit both the open E and the A at the same time. It's pretty loose the way he plays it, but you get the basic idea. And I'm using a little bit of a cross picking there. I'm going down, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up. So you can vary it however you like. And again, you slide into it. So let's talk about that groove a little bit. There's two guitars, of course. There's the rhythm guitar going along with whatever Fogerty's doing. And there's those little jabs in there. And you can listen. I'll give you the jabs of what he plays. But listen carefully to the recording so that you can find out exactly where he puts them, okay? But there's three different patterns that he uses. But first, let's talk about the groove. We're on the E7 chord, and there's going to be some muting and stuff going on back here. They do vary the pockets, so feel free to do that, but the basic rhythm that you're going to hear is. And those upstrokes are where he puts those little variations in. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a down upstroke and then a mute with that downstroke. And how I do that is just laying the side of my hand down, getting a little bit of a percussive click on the strings. And then it's all upstrokes with the muting in between. Let me slow that way down. So you've got that down up kind of mute and then up, up, up with the mutes in between. And then, like I said, the little variations that he plays, they're on those upstrokes, so you don't have to break stride with the rhythm at all. And the first one you hear is you just lay the strings down like that. You can use two fingers if you want to. I just use the one finger. I lay my third finger down, right at the 7th fret across the A, D, G, and B strings. And you'll hear a few of those, right? And then we hear A to the open strings. Now what you're actually playing there is just the D string, the G string, and the B string, and then opening it up. And it's in the same spot. And you can come back to, I choose to come back to this E7 chord, but you can also use the other one, which I'll speak about in a second. So he does a few of those, and then he does a couple of these, and then 4 of the DA thing. So again, listen to the recording carefully to know exactly where he does those. But the second variation would be played like this. So you hear a couple of those, and again, if you want to, you can play the E7, this E7 down there. That one sounds perfectly fine as well. Like I say, it sounds really good as well, and you'll definitely want to use this E7 when we start playing the D to the A, and he plays like, I think, 5 of those, okay? And you can see right there, I'm kind of hammering on to that E chord. You come off of the D and the A, and kind of hammer onto it, and then grab your 7th and finish out the rhythmic flow. And again, I can't emphasize enough listening to the actual recording so you know where he puts those things. Again, at the end as well when he starts tossing them in. So you want to know where those are at, or just kind of throw them in wherever you want to. So let's talk about John Fogerty's guitar solo now. It's obviously composed. He would play it very similar live. You know, it's a composed part, but it's a solo still. And I'm guessing that's why a lot of people are here. It's a pretty cool solo. So once again, I'm still using the Kamisi tremolo pedal. I've got a little bit more drive going now. I've got a little bit more gain for the solo. So let's get into it. The first thing we hear, of course, is this. So let's talk about that. We've got that cool vibrato right out the gate on the 2nd fret, but you want to lay your first finger down already because you're going to be doing those pull-offs. On the recording, it actually sounds like he's interspersing pull-offs with picked ones, so feel free to do that as well. But I'll show it to you with all pull-offs, and then you can pick whichever ones you choose to. Nice vibrato out the gate, and then we're going to pull off in succession. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when you come back here, you're going to pick what follows. So we've got and then come back to the 1st fret on the G string. That's a pull off. And then the rest of them are picked. I know you can see it on the tab, but hopefully that helps out a little bit. So let me play that whole phrase nice and slow. And the very next phrase is that one can be a little bit tricky just because of the way he kind of pieces it together. So let me play it really slow with the tab. makes his way back to the part of the solo. So let's put those two phrases together. And that's what I would call, like, say, the first half or the first third of the solo. And then he plays some double stops with some hybrid picking. Now you can play this a couple of different ways. You'll see people playing it like this. You know, something like that. But if you listen to the recording very carefully, and that's fine, by the way, there's nothing wrong with playing it like that at all. But if you listen carefully to the recording, you'll hear that hybrid picking coming in. And if you can find a few videos of Fogerty playing it live, if you can catch that, you'll see the little hybrid picking going on. So what he's actually playing here is... So let me break that down really slow if you want to play it with the hybrid picking. I think it sounds pretty cool. So I'm using my pick on the D string and using my middle finger for the B string. You can see the tab, but I'm using these fingers, my second finger and my ring finger, to play the double stops. So we want to slide into it and then pick those two strings again. Now after we've picked those two strings, then we want to play the D string by itself, followed by the B string with your middle finger. Hope you can see that okay. Then we're going to move the double stop back to the 7th fret, and this time we're going to lead with the B string with the middle finger on the right hand. So I don't know if you can see what I did there, but I'll explain it nice and slow. After we've done the first part, move back to the 7th fret, lead with the B string. So it's B string, D string, B string. So we have... And then we move to the 5th fret on the B string and the 6th fret on the D string. And we play those together. So there was 2 of those. And then back to the 7th fret. So that's the first phrase of this part. And then we play the next phrase, which is like so. So that one's a little bit trickier, but it starts out the same way. Move back down to the 7th fret again, lead with the B string, and hit that D string, okay? But then we have to go, and you can play this a couple of different ways, but this is the way I've chosen to play it. I think it sounds pretty bright and crisp. So you've got to reach over with your first finger to the 5th fret on the E and the B string. And you can do that with your pick. You can swing down with your pick, or you can just keep using the hybrid picking. You can catch it with your finger or use your pick. Get a little bit more output with your pick. And then we come back. So we came back to 9, 7, and then back to 9. And that would be the second phrase of this slice of the solo. And then we play this. So you can see it's pretty much like the first one. We start out the exact same way. Complete with 2 of those, but then we pop back to the 9th fret and then back to 5 and 6. So that whole one is... So you want to put all three of those together, right? So let me do those really slowly. Pretty sweet. I love Fogerty's solos. They're just great. They fit the song totally, and they're just perfect. And so from there, we move right into so let's go over that. All of it is played on the D, the G, and the B string, okay? So I'm forming a D chord at the 7th fret by barring across all three of those. And then an A triad on the B string, 5, 6 on the G, and 7 on the D. And then we form an inverted E chord. So the best way to do this is just bar across the first 4 strings at the 4th fret. This finger's on the 5th fret on the B string, and then 6th fret on the D string. Now what you want to do when you hit that is just play those same 3 strings, the D, the G, and the B. But you have your first finger barred across that first E string, and so that enables you to pop down and pick it, and then come back with your pinky to the 7th fret on the B string, and then off. So we have play that 3 times, and if you want to kind of bring in a little bit of the guitar underneath, you can kind of swing back with alternate strokes on that if you want to do that. So like I said, you play that one 3 times, and then we move to. So what we have going there is 4th fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the A string, 3rd fret on the B string, and then an A chord, but just those same 3 strings. And then an E shape. And I bring in the first 4 strings for that one, okay? So putting that all together, we have. And then the next thing we hear is this. So that's pretty easy to play. I'll just play it nice and slow with the tab up on the screen. And of course he does that later on in the song as well, but I trust you can listen to the recording and spot all those goodies throughout. So there you go with Born on the Bayou by CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, and I'll definitely be doing some more CCR as time goes by. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and we'll see everybody soon. Bye.